the pilot interest that been talking about, like at the end of the accounts payable and kind of stuff like that, like go through the financial. Okay, I just want to make sure that that was like kind of what we're.
Need a CDC meeting?
Yeah.
On an exec session today, and we'll be here till 7 if we can.
Okay, so can I do this next one? Well, I wrote up a whole like.
Just do it, yeah, just do it as you normally would and just.
Okay, got it.
Board approval.
No,
Thank you.
you don't need.
No. Have been working okay? Right.
All right, let's get started. Call to order the Counties of Warren and Washington Industrial Development Agency meeting on August 17th at 4 p.m. May I get a roll call, please, Ally?
Here.
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 7 out of 10.
Great, thank you so much. In your meeting packet, starting on page 3, you see the July 20th IDA board meeting minutes. I'll entertain a motion to approve those minutes. Melissa, second. Dan? All in favor? Or any questions, comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstain? Hearing none, motion carries. Moving to new business, Legacy Equipment LLC application for consideration, starting on page 7. We'll turn it over to our CEO.
Okay, so this is for consideration for acceptance, and if the application accepted, we'll be moving on to public hearing and final approval next month. I'd like to introduce with us tonight is Ashley and Corey Soprano, husband, wife, and Ashley's father, Bill Eckhart, who originally started Arrowhead Equipment. And I believe, Corey, you said you were going to speak first. So if we could start, if you could do a description of the business and the project, and I'll go through the incentives, and then we'll open it for questions. Okay? Yeah, please. And I think the microphone's on.
If you speak into the mic, it'd be great.
I want to make sure because we're recording live, so we got to make sure everyone in public land hears you. Can you hit the, see if that?
There you go.
Update, fair enough. You hear right here the opposite. Yeah, application acceptance for. Just a little bit about us. We're a generation. So nice. Bill started with his family years ago, prior to 1986, and then 1986 started his business. Like we are located right here in Kingsbury. We are at 4 Lakewood Road. We currently have the 600 square foot building. We're
Can you talk a little louder? We got the fan we're competing with over here.
sorry.
No worries.
Yeah, so we currently rent a 5,600 square foot building on Big Boom Road that we acquired in 2022. So our family business back then was sold in 2017, and Ashley and I started Legacy Equipment in 2022. We inherited that 5,600 square foot building where we rent the industry and something that required. We have hopefully outgrown the facility, which is great. Started with started business back in we currently sit at about 5 to 8 employees. So yeah, we're obviously been from this area our whole life. We're in commercial snow and ice equipment, manufacturing, solutions for commercial truck equipment, municipality equipment. But we're kind of keeping on the tradition that started in 1986 with our family. Like different manufacturers over these years, but very excited to grow the business here. So With that being said, we are, this project with approximately like 8,400 square foot building. Yeah, it's really, it's very. With all Grand Road, so it's. But yeah, Andrews Brothers, they're definitely required. And, with the goal of building a new facility, go business, go jobs. To go somewhere, stay here, and really just kind of keep working. Community and obviously the commercial contracts, these comments. So, with new building with them, like I said, more growth opportunity, more jobs. We anticipate 5 to 6 employees per rent. But you can very easily see that growth. Hopefully. Start its business here in Williams, guys. Yeah, we're very excited about the opportunity. Appreciate the time.
You want to mention a little bit about your interaction with the planning board?
Yeah, of course. So we seek that planning board approval, weeks back, for the building project. Yeah, it's been a long process. We're very excited about what we did, formally, address the planning board and for. That was.
But obviously you were well prepared. You just did it in one meeting, right? You presented the project and the project was approved in the same meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good sign.
I would be lying if I say done this a lot. Done a lot of town board meetings when I did the project, but yeah, it was a very smooth process. Obviously, we had representation with us, but host the town board. Didn't know what to expect again.
Great, thank you. So let me go into a few more facts and then I'll go through the incentives and the impact and then we can answer questions together. So the project total investment is expected to be about $1.7 million. The project is expected to be financed by MBT Bank for $1.475 million. The 2026 total assessed value of the lot is $220,000. The 2026 property taxes were $4,334. Those base property taxes will continue to be paid each year regardless of any investment incentives that might be awarded by this board. As far as the regional economic impact, first, the construction labor will comprise of approximately 18 positions for 11 months valued at $412,000. Construction materials estimated of $618,000 will be sourced 62% from within Warren and Washington counties and 82% within New York State. The operation of the new facility will have favorable incremental impact with 5.5 new staff positions and sales tax generation over 10 years. Wages and benefits will be over an estimated $2.5 million over the 10 years. The sales tax will conservatively be over $225,000 over the 10-year period. The operation of the new facility will also, as you mentioned earlier, retain some positions, 8 to 9 positions, and the value of those positions were over $5 million over 10 years. As far as the proposed investment incentives, there are 3. First, property tax incentives in form of a pilot. The project qualifies for a pilot within IDA's uniform taxes and policy. The pilot payments will be for a term of 10 years with 100% exemption of real property taxes on the value of the improvements for years 1 through 5, and 50% exemption of real property taxes and value of the improvements for years 6 through 10 after construction is completed. This totals an estimated $441,417 in pilot payments over 10 years versus an estimated $165,669 without the investment incentives. The estimated property tax benefit is $124,252 over 10 years. The second incentive will be state and county sales tax abatement totaling 7% based on $628,000 in purchases subject to sales tax. The estimated benefit is $43,960. And then the third benefit will be mortgage tax abatement of 1% from the estimated financing loan of $1.475 million. The estimated mortgage tax benefit is $14,750. The proposed total gross investment incentives for legacy equipment is an estimated $182,960 before fees. The IDA administrative fee is $15,345 for servicing incentives, including tender pilot. The estimated legal fee is $15,000. Thus, the estimated total net investment incentive is estimated to be $152,617. This represents 9% of total project cost. And finally, legacy equipment has explained that financial assistance from the IDA will help offset the costs of constructing and equipping a new facility, allowing us to expand operations, improve efficiency, and create additional jobs. Without the financial assistance, the project will be reduced in scope due to significant costs in construction. With a smaller business, the business will not be able to create as many additional jobs. So with that, we'll now open the floor for questions. For you or me, we'll see what happens. Any questions? I will mention we do have a meeting scheduled with the town supervisor. If this project is accepted today, we'll then go forward with the meeting with the supervisor before our next monthly meeting.
Great, well prepared. That's why there's not a lot of questions, but let me get the resolution in motion first, and then we'll open it up for discussion. But before that, I'd like for the record to note that Tricia Rogers and John Taplon, two board members, have joined us. And with that, I would entertain a motion accepting the resolution for an application for financial assistance submitted by Legacy Equipment LLC, the company, relating to a project, authorizing a public hearing with respect to the project and describing the financial assistance being contemplated by the agency with respect to the project. Kevin, second. Melissa, discussion. All right, hearing none, roll call, please, Ally.
Campbell,
Yes.
Ian Bruno,
Yes.
John Taplin, Tricia Rogers. Yes. Kevin Mahoney. Connor McCoy,
Abstain.
Charlie Tall. Melissa Fitch. Yes. Juan Gonzalez.
Yes,
Motion passes.
great. Step one's complete.
Congratulations. You're welcome to stay if you'd like, but if you leave, we will not be offended.
Best to leave. We got about an hour and a half.
Thank you. Thanks, Bill.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Great. All right, moving on to treasurer's report, accounts payable, page 2 of your read. Treasurer, take it over.
All right, so looking at the accounts payable, this month it totals $52,519.07. This is higher than what you're seeing because we had 4 late additions, being Labella for the Creative Economy for $4,111, Black Dog for $225, the June FMBF of $3,570.18, and July FMBF of $1,928.50. All the other items are standard on there that are reoccurring or expected to be paid. Are there any questions on the accounts payable prior to recommendation for approval? With no questions, I recommend for approval.
All right, with that, I will entertain a motion to approve the accounts payable. Brian, second. Charlie, discussion. Roll call, please, Ally.
Frank Campbell,
Yes.
Ian Bruno,
Yes.
John Taplin,
Yes.
Tricia Rogers. Yes. Kevin Mahoney.
Yes.
Connor McCoy,
Yes.
Charlie Tall,
Yes.
Melissa Fitch. Yes. Juan Gonzalez.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. Good.
Moving on to year-to-date financial reports, page 45 of your read ahead, 44 of your read ahead.
All right. So looking at the IDA's balance sheet over the last year shows minimal changes. We're still in a very strong position. Bank account sitting at roughly 2.1 million. only slightly less than prior year with some additional expenses that we've had in our profit and loss that's expected. And again, the reiterating queue at departure. Important to note here, our HUD reimbursements total 186,000 and 97,000 for the Fast NY reimbursements, totaling 283,000 in reimbursements on the profit and loss that you're going to be seeing. Accounting from this, we're much more in line with prior year checking balances if those get added back in. And then looking at the profit and loss, we see year-over-year decreases expected with, again, I know a broken record here with Hewitt's departure, and which results in a difference in revenue of roughly 267,000 year over year. Additionally, it's important to note that our expenses are elevated due to the water main breakage and the bridge/detour. So those two line items that, acute kind of things that we can't really plan for did boost up those expenses, showing it over higher than last year, which leads to us running behind for those reasons being mentioned. Any questions on the financials before I jump into another item to bring up? All right, I'm going to keep moving it forward then. So with Ali, Chuck, and Juan's help, we've been reaching out to our accounting team. I'm sorry, our accountants to figure out how we should handle the CHPE payments. And I feel like it's important to let everybody know how it's going to be handled. So in November, we're going to be receiving the large pass-through payment from the CHPE project. The IDA will receive roughly, just round numbers sake, 2.3 million to distribute for tax jurisdiction. And the CDC will receive roughly 3.1 million to distribute as well. We reached out to the auditors to discuss how these should be handled. They verified that these payments will be solely a pass-through. They will not show up on our income statement at all. And we are allowed an exception for that due to the timing of the amount of time we're going to have it on the balance sheet. So similar to how we handle pilot payments reported like this in the past. So again, all in line with how we've been handling it. The new thing that we're going to be doing is that we will be holding these funds from roughly 5 to 10 days in the ICS account to accrue the interest on it. We did do some double checks all over the place to figure out if that interest earned has to go back to the municipalities. It does not. It can stay in our account. So we will be benefiting of roughly 5.4 million bucks in interest for about 5 to 10 days, depending on the timing of everything, and make a little bit of money off it where we can. So want everyone to be aware that is what we're going to be doing with it. And again, we double and triple checked with everybody that there was no complications with us doing that.
Why the split between the two, I guess?
It's probably a better alley pushing than me.
The split between the community host benefit
Between the
payment.
CDC and the other one. One is the host benefit.
Yeah,
and one's the
yeah, so
pilot.
they-
Okay.
Mhm.
So if you look at the
That's what I
project,
assumed.
yep, the
Sorry.
project agreement for the CDC and this community host benefit payment, it shows that we specifically have 30 days to disperse the funds. And then for the IDA and the pilot benefits, it says to disperse the funds. I believe the word that they used was immediately or as soon as possible, in which case we need 7 to 10 days in order to ensure that everything's taken care of, and then we will disperse.
And will those be the dates from there on in, or will the pilots start coming in January when taxes?
At this point, we believe those will be the dates, but
It'll
again,
always be in November.
but let me stress this point is nobody here, nobody in Washington County controls when they actually
Right.
write the check. They have up until 30 days until they get penalized, but that doesn't mean that the check is guaranteed to be written. So
Right.
until we see the money, we really are still at a standstill. What we know is that bills due 30 November, and then that's when the timer starts for them to be penalized for not sending the money in time. Charlie?
As I read it, do I remember that that does set the anniversary window, so every year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So we're still working our memo that we're gonna get out to the municipalities and everybody's impacted. And as we get further questions, we're gonna edit that memo, and that's gonna be our talking points for the next 30 years as we develop this and the next generation comes in
So
after
that
us.
pilot is actually for 2027 year. It's actually for 2027. A year late. Yeah,
You're gonna treat it unexpected pilot. and
the first year, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
We're gonna bring it anyway.
Because you would subtract.
If you did, you have.
You have a pilot in 2026, 2027, and that's zero. You have to.
Yeah, we're gonna have to override the cap every year.
No,
For just the
no,
first-
probably first year.
except that we all assume, but it was first.
So for the non-municipality folks, there's bank math and there's municipality math.
Oh.
There's
Yeah.
life math. So we're jumping in. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
jumping in them all here at this meeting.
Only thing I'll add is that you will see our income statement that we always track our interest earned. We will separate these two out so we know specifically what we received from this and from that. Obviously, when our audit gets done, those will just show us one line item, but internally, we're at least going to monitor what it is in case there's ever questions in the future that we can say this was what it was at the end of the year. And obviously, we'll provide that to our auditors as well.
The most checks you ever.
Yeah,
Yeah, because all the towns that are involved, the counties.
the county's involved, correct.
What's
Yeah.
that? Yeah,
16
we
more.
don't usually write 16 checks by a year. We don't have a huge amount of expenses.
Alrighty.
Big number for us.
Wow. Any questions on that? Yeah.
It's never there. It's never there.
Christmas cards to your ID folks,
Mhm.
please.
So that's all I got. So
But then
thank
I
you.
I do have one additional item not related to that. Just a reminder that the last few years with the grants, we've been working on grants that have been quarterly submissions for reimbursement. Fast New York is different. They will not provide a reimbursement until we accrue at least $1 million in expenses. So you're gonna see a different method on how we taking care of our cash flow to make sure that we stay ahead of the game. But so we are adjusting from quarterly reimbursements to whenever the first million we spend, and then we still don't know when we're gonna get that. So we're working that. So that's just a tweak for those that have been here through the HUD and the MBRC reimbursements of before where it was coming quarterly. All right, any questions? Hearing none, with that, I will entertain a motion to approve the year-to-date financial reports. Charlie, second. John, any final discussions? All right, roll call, please, Ellie.
Campbell,
Yes.
Dan Bruno,
Yes.
John Tackland, Trisha Rogers. Yes. Kevin Mahoney,
Yes.
Bonnie McCoy,
Yes.
Charlie Tall,
Yes.
Melissa Fitch. Yes. Juan Gonzalez.
Yes,
Motion passes.
great. Moving on to reports of committees. Park Chair, please.
Sure. Regarding canal side, let's see, the phase one of the water improvement project has been awarded, I believe. And we're scheduling a pre-construction.
Yeah, on August 19th. The pre-construction on August 19th.
Did you send out an email on that?
We're waiting for the farmland folks to get that out.
Somebody will. Well, that's been awarded to Keller. Thank you. Did the South Access Road. And speaking of that, the engineer for that project, the South Access Road, is issued has issued a plan to Keller to repair. There's a small portion of the west shoulder of that new asphalt. I think we just discussed this before. Needs some repair. It's pretty minor. If you did nothing, it probably. Just waiting to hear from them. We have added a person, Everett Scully, who manages the SMS rail concern there. He's been doing the brush trimming, etc. And we added one of his associates, so to speak, to do that, and they're doing a very good job. I was there today. The substation, the brush there is all cleared, looks good. That's important to keep that down because of the danger involved there. The rest of the areas on the south end look very good. Putting the brush along the fence, front of the buildings, etc. And spoke with him, and we're going to concentrate on that, and then move back to the north end. So the site looks good. Our electric continues to occupy the smaller building, 2,000 square, whatever it is. So that's good. Back to SMS Rail, they only have 5 rail cars on site, unload for grain disbursement. And as I said at the last meeting, speaking with Everett Scully, the pretty low, that translates to some income for the IPA. The more they have, the better it is for us, but things are pretty slow with respect to that right now. And the Lock 8 Way, which is the access road coming off 196 on the north end of the site, the bridge removal and replacement there, the existing bridge is being removed. We gave that to Washington County in return for them taking it and replacing the surface, the abutments and all that stuff. Existing are good, so they just have to really, in effect, replace the deck. And that's going along pretty well right now. We do not have a meeting this week, bi-weekly meetings with Labella, because there really hasn't been a lot of change. So we will not have a meeting this week, this normal schedule. There's just not a lot to discuss there. I'm sure Mr. Barton will have final comments. The Airport Industrial Park, I don't hear much about that. I'm not sure where that stands with Sears purchasing the lots there. Maybe you have some.
Yeah, the latest from Bill Hafner is that the Kingsbury zoning officer will not allow an outside chipper, which he feels is important for his operations. So he is reconsidering his situation and will be officially getting back to us, let us know whether or not he can move forward with the sale or not. It sounds doubtful right now.
Thank you.
What about the Rotary?
What about what? I'm sorry?
Oh, I thought you were asking the same one.
No, Mr. Bruno is referring to the Ferguson Lane extension, the 8 lots over 25 acres at the end, but you're referring to the 20-acre lot there in the middle.
You were
So
headed there, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
He was
Don't want to steal your thunder.
Yeah, there's not much better.
All right. Any questions for our park chair?
Where does that stand, Mr. Rowe?
Rotary has been slow, as we've reported in the past. We now have a neighbor who has expressed interest in the property. Last week, I provided information and I'm waiting for them to get back. So we might have a new party interested in buying that lot.
They want to purchase.
Purchase it.
One question on the bridge, did you have on what they proposed in time that they'll finish?
Yes, I believe at the end of September.
Yes, they have to be done. Well, no, actually a little later than that. They have to be done within 120 days or they incur penalties. And so it's obviously 4 months. They're expecting to be done well before that, assuming there's no bad weather conditions.
You must be in charge.
Right. And that concludes my discussion.
Thank you, park chair. Any final questions for the park chair?
One quick question, for the JW Keller, doing the fixing.
Yeah.
Is that gonna be in a change order where we have to pay it, or are they doing that?
Well, we told them we do not anticipate work spec,
Mhm.
have to pay anything for that. Customary, it was not a design flaw.
Mhm.
It's not something that we did
Mhm.
to incur that.
So they're just fixing it up.
It's just a failure of the asphalt on the west side of that
Mhm.
small strip. And there's a couple reasons I could offer conjecture. But the bottom line is, it appears to be their problem. It's not a,
Gotcha.
not a
Perfect.
showstopper. They didn't do anything.
Yeah.
But it's similar, I say, if you had your driveway paved and this occurred, wouldn't you call the contractor and say, hey, I've got
Mhm.
this cracked and it
Mhm.
won't do well, get them back, same sort.
Sounds good.
Any other questions? All right, turn it over to our CEO for the rest of Canal Side and Airport Industrial Park.
Okay, so I'll go through my standard format. I'm going to try not to be redundant, Mr. Bruno. I will repeat a few things that happened at the executive committee in which not everyone was there. So let's start with canal side and the water capacity expansion. First, the updated water map plan report approved at our July board meeting has been advanced to the Village of Fort Edward for approval. As soon as they sign and approve that plan, will be complete. Second, the Village of Fort Edward's project development agreement for the water project is being routed for final signature, and we expect to have that done this month. Third, the builder's risk insurance for $3,004 that was approved at the executive committee on August 5th was approved by the August 5th executive committee, and the policy has been issued. And then finally, the notice to proceed was issued to Keller and Sons on August 12th, and as discussed earlier, the pre-construction meeting is scheduled for August 19th, which is this Wednesday at 9 o'clock. Moving on to the new sewer connection, Labella is developing a sewer connection map plan report. This report will be an important document for the extension of the Washington County Sewer District. Second, on WCC land purchase, Northeastern Environmental Technologies Corporation inspected 3 WCC lots totaling 19.3 acres in mid-July. The inspector did not observe any major issues. Then on July 29th, Mr. Bruno and I also inspected the site. We also did not have any observations of concern. That being said, the environmental firm pointed out that knowing the IEDA is looking to purchase the lots and then resell, they recommend a phase 1 desktop review of historical records to make sure there are no surprises. At the August 5th executive committee meeting, the change order to add phase 1 review from $2,800 was discussed and then approved by the executive committee. Phase 1 informational gathering is underway. The study is about 80% complete, but the environmental firm is waiting for some responses from FOIL that they've done both into municipalities and to DEC. They have said it historically, the DEC has taken a little longer time. So we'll just need to wait for that FOIL response. Obviously, the DEC has 30 days. Thus far, the environmental firm has not countered any major concern, and they're really honestly not expecting anything major back from the DEC. Hopefully, the phase 1 report will be completed before our September 21st meeting. Moving on, the East Street entrance modification, Mr. Bruno talked about that, so I will skip my notes on that. We talked about the Lock 8 bridge replacement. I will mention that the detour is working well, so we're very pleased about that. Moving on to new natural gas supply. As previously reported, National Grid Engineering proposed a new gas line route along the same path as the existing water line and proposed sewer line. Labella's sewer connection design drawings have been provided to National Grid Engineering. National Grid is developing an engineering service proposal, albeit slowly. Last week, I interacted with the National Grid representative, and she explained that the engineer assigned to the project has been unexpectedly out of work for a while, and that the National Grid representative is talking to the engineering group to figure out how our request can be satisfied. So we've hit a little bit of a snag, but by next board meeting, we should have a positive update. Moving on to canal side maintenance. I don't want to be too redundant with Mr. Bruno, but at the executive committee meeting August 5th, there was a proposal to hire another person because we realize both with the trimming that needs to be done and with brush hog work, when we rent it, if we have a second resource there on site, we'll get the work done quicker and we believe less expensively than hiring an outside firm. That the committee approved that. The person's been hired and has already been putting a lot of hours in. And as Mr. Bruno reported, things are pretty good today. And then the last item is also something we've talked about, and that's over at the Airport Industrial Park and the fact that we have a new party interested in the 20-acre lot. And that's it, unless there are any questions.
Great. Any final questions? All right, moving on to ongoing business, creative economy update on page 2 of your, page 52 of your read ahead, or 53 there.
So you have the one pager that was produced by Labella. Every 2 weeks, we have a conference call. We had a call this morning, and we're pleased to point out that the bottom, as far as organizations that have been engaged, you see 25 on your sheet. It's now 33. And then you see patron responses to the survey. Your report has 184. That was as of last Monday. This Monday, we're up to 436. So we're starting to get nice responses to the surveys. We are going to be working with the advisory committee to further connect with some of these creative economy organizations and ask them to respond to the survey. Obviously, the more organizations respond to the survey, the more useful it will be. And that's it, unless there are any questions.
All right, hearing none, moving on to the LinkedIn July report.
Okay, so we have a guest with us. We have with us Lily Trowbridge, who is our social media intern. And we're going to turn it over to Lily to talk about the LinkedIn report, please.
And that was when we posted our creative economy announcement with, you know, that was our top one. And then this one below that was that was our top performing post. And then here's the program package was our second best. After that. So, but I know some of us there hires you here for. But yeah, that's it for me. If you guys have any ideas, questions, feel free to email me. I'm definitely.
And I'll just add, Lily's been, as you pointed out, with us for a couple of months, and you'll be with us for a few more months until the end of the spring semester. You're Albany, so you're right down the road, and maybe we'll see you at another meeting. So it's been a pleasure having you on board, and we look forward to our continued work. I don't know, Ally, if you have anything to add.
I don't.
So how do we get to 1,000 followers by the end of the year?
I already forewarned her.
So is boosting post a cost? Okay,
Not in the budget.
we have a conversation on that later, right? Yes, perfect, thank you. Yes, sir.
If, they posted jobs be completed.
I think you're talking, you should.
Yeah, you know, the pictures of like FWWeb or some of them when they're completed, you know, they started this in such and such a year, it was completed when, and, you know, and like, take credit that way, that you post that out.
Yeah, you
I
wanna
think
mention,
people would click on that more and follow along.
so Lily, you wanna mention, I believe we did FW Web soon after you started. You recall a few other projects we've done?
To be honest.
I believe you did native development as well.
Yes. And those are the ones that I think I did actually see those, and I actually liked them, whatever, but I think we do far more than that. We don't see all of the projects. It's a good way to keep everybody reminded that we are making
Absolutely.
progress.
Nice thing too is the project's evolved, like Legacy we heard today, we've already given the finding statement to Lily. So as soon as the board approves that project, then we'll go live with that project. So timing wise, we can really work out quite well. But and we've actually gone back and pulled some old projects and said, hey, did you know? We did it with the prior social media intern, and we'll continue with Lily, and pulling some of the archive projects out and saying, oh, by the way. So agreed.
Don't bring out the trash plan.
Don't bring up the trash can. Okay. Lily noted.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you, Lily.
Very good, Lily. Thank you.
Good job.
Good job.
All right, moving on, native development update.
So you might recall from our June board meeting, we talked about the idea of awarding a project based on speculation of a tenant. And there were lots of good questions. So I'll let you know, this is just a verbal update. We drafted a white paper. We've talked with other IDAs. We've also found other IDA projects, how they've done this properly. But we're not quite ready for this meeting, so we expect to have the white paper ready for the next meeting, particularly because we want to do some further dialogue with some other local IDAs, Clifton Park IDA and the Mechanicsville Stillwater IDA, for example. So, and the good thing is that the prospective tenant native development has agreed to one of the ideas that bubbled up at our last meeting, and that was not to have the pilot start until the tenant is secured. So there's no risk for us. So they do agree with that. The other thing we've learned and talked with other IDAs, we should have a no piracy policy, because we want to make sure if we do any speculation, we don't steal any prospective business out of a neighboring county. So that will be part of this white paper you'll see. So I just want to let you know that we're still working on it, and there'll be more information coming out of there September.
That means 2 counties over is free game.
Well, no,
Say it.
not within. So anyway, sir, we've made some nice progress. More to come.
Great, any questions by the team? All right, new business, marketing budget, page 55 of your read ahead. Who wants that?
So, in your reading packets, this was actually a follow-up from the original one. What I did was I included where the marketing funds have gone so far. The 2025 budget for marketing and PR was approved. We're currently at $11,484 spent, and the breakdown has been supplied in the revised page. So what we're doing is we are asking the board to approve an additional $5,000 for the marketing and PR budget for the remainder of this year. What we would like to do is publish the surveys for the creative economy a couple more times in the Chronicle, the Eagle, and the Mirror. Each publishing is about 1,400 total. So that's 2,800 right there. And then we would like a buffer for possibly LinkedIn boosts or whatever else might come our way by the end of December.
What is the time frame on us expecting to be published by these publishers, publications?
As soon as
Gotcha.
I will contact the newspapers, the publishing agencies, and get them in as soon as possible, hopefully back to back, so we don't lose momentum.
Do we need a motion to discuss further?
Yeah, with that, I will entertain a motion to approve the marketing PR 2026 budget by $5,000. Dan, second. John, discussion, open for discussion.
Is that gonna be enough? Will you be coming back for another 1,500, maybe in December, should be sort of bigger?
I think it's enough.
We added a buffer. We had this discussion at exec and they did buff up the amount that they thought they would need. Any other questions? Okay, roll call, please, Ellie.
Brian Campbell,
Yes.
Dan Bruno,
Yes.
Jim Kaplan.
Yep.
Trisha Rogers, Kevin Mahoney, Connor McCoy,
Yes.
Charlie Tall,
Yes.
Melissa Fitch, Ron Gonzalez.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great. Any other new business before this board? All right, moving on, staff report, CEO, please.
Okay, so report activity from July 21st to August 14th. Back on July 22nd, I attended the East End Rising Advisory Committee meeting at Glens Falls City Hall. Then on the 23rd, the Mosaic meeting number 10 at the High Collection. Then on the 24th, the Lake Champlain Lake George Regional Planning Board Brownfield Coalition monthly meeting. Then also on the 24th, that was Friday, the Joint to Lime 175th anniversary celebration of High Collection, which in itself was quite amazing learning about the history of the company. Moving on, then on July 31st, I was interviewed by Lake George Mayor's Tony Hall to talk about the Creative Economy Project, and that was very well received, and I thought you did a nice job with this article. Then on August 3rd, I met with the Lake George Regional Chamber of Commerce and some hotel members to discuss local recreation issues, particularly with Athens Dome, and wanting to make sure that there's good integration with the dome activity with the hotel industry. There's more to come on that. Then on August 4th, we had a luncheon with former board members Tim Robinson, Nick Camino, Gina Sullivan, and Jim Nolan, which was really a nice, warm feeling event. There was very great dialogue about the good things that we do. So thank you to our chairman for sponsoring that. Then on August 6th, we had the Regional Strategic Alliance meeting with the Warren County EDC, Saratoga EDC, Glens Falls Economic Development in Warren County, and Mr. Taflon was in attendance. And typically there's very good dialogue with that meeting that happens every month. Then on August 8th, I attended the Lake George annual meeting at the Carriage House, a very, very informative meeting. And then on August 12th, I attended the ARCC and Greenwich Chambers Mixer in Greenwich, and that too was very well attended. As far as engagements to date, there are 32. There are 8 within manufacturing and distribution, 6 in tourism and recreation, 2 in hotel and resort, 1 in food and beverage, 2 in mixed, 8 in housing, 1 in energy, 1 in medical, and 3 in other. Of those 32, 6 are potential applicants in 2026, 6 are potential applicants in 2027, none in 2028 thus far, unknown 13, and none people I'm not expecting the applicants at 7. As far as our pipeline of projects, the pipeline is currently at 20 projects, 6 in manufacturing and distribution, 5 in mixed use, 5 in housing, 3 in hotel and resort, and 1 in tourism and recreation. Of those 20 projects, 6 of the applicants are underway with the application. We just heard from 1 today, so there's 5 in addition to Legacy that we heard today. We have 5 who are contemplating to move forward with the application, and then we have 9 who are simply exploring. And just like I always report, we have at least 10 that for one reason or another have decided not to move forward with their application. And that's my report, unless there are any questions.
All right, hearing none, turn it over to our administrator, Alex.
So we have finally received all of the village tax payments, so we're all set with that. And next week, just as soon as the school tax rates are available, I will be preparing the school tax bills for the pilots. That's all I have.
Great. Any questions for Ally? Any public comments? Do we have anybody online? With that, I'll have Kara take us into executive session. The verbiage.
The purpose for the executive session is to discuss the sale of real property, the disclosure of the terms and value could affect the ultimate sale price.
And we will not be making any decisions out of executive session, so we'll be adjourning directly out of that. With that, I will entertain a motion to go into executive session. Dan, second. Connor. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.